All right. Good afternoon, all, and thank you for coming in early today. It won't happen ever again. And happy Friday. After hearing from me today, Rima Baza, the spokesperson for the President of General Assembly, will brief you and answer your questions. Today, the Secretary General will give a virtual Eid message and an interactive discussion with member states representing the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The theme of the discussions will be COVID-19 solidarity, promoting coexistence, and shared responsibility. The Secretary General is expected to remind member states that our world is like one body, and as long as one part is affected by this virus, we are all affected. Now more than ever, solidarity and unity must be our leading principles. And yesterday, the Secretary General presented his proposal for the program budget for 2021 at a virtual session of the Advisory Committee on the Administrative and Budgetary Questions. He noted the meeting was happening at a time when the pandemic has put the lives of billions of people around the globe in turmoil, inflicting grave suffering and destabilizing the global economy. In response, he said the United Nations has mobilized fully to save lives, stave off famine, and ease the pain and plan for recovery. The Secretary General said that we are open for business and are running the organization from thousands of dining tables and home offices around the world. Regarding recent reforms, he added that reform is on track and beginning to yield results. Resident coordinators covering 162 countries and territories now have a direct reporting line to his office, enhanced analytical capacities, and as well as support from a strengthened development coordination office. The new management processes and structures have proven instrumental in enabling the organization to remain open and function effectively during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Secretary General said that to fully implement the mandates entrusted to us, we will require a total of $2.99 billion in 2021, which represents a net reduction of 2.8% compared to 2020, despite additional initiatives and mandated activities. At this stage, he added no resources have been included for COVID-19 as the program budget proposals were largely put together before the pandemic came on the scene, and the situation is still evolving. Today, the World Health Organization, the UN Children's Fund, and Gavi, the Global Vaccine Alliance, warned that COVID-19 is disrupting routine vaccination efforts around the world. They say that it is putting about 80 million children under the age of 1 at risk of diseases such as diphtheria, measles, and polio. More than half of the 129 countries where data was available reported moderate to severe disruptions or a total suspension of vaccination services during the March-April period this year. Measles campaigns, for example, have been suspended in 27 countries, and polio campaigns put on hold in 38 countries. On June 4th, at the Global Vaccine Summit, world leaders will come together to help maintain immunization programs and mitigate the impact of pandemic in lower-income countries. And I have a quick update for you from Bangladesh, where Cyclone Amphan has made landfall earlier this week. Our humanitarian colleagues tell us that some 10 million people in Bangladesh have been impacted by the storm, with 17 people having been killed. Early reports indicate $130 million in damage inflicted by the cyclone so far. Nearly 331,000 homes have been damaged, and at least 100,000 people have been displaced, in addition to those already evacuated. Aid agencies are helping the government of Bangladesh to distribute food and shelter items, as well as set up clean water sources and latrines. In Cox's Bazar, more than 100 shelters have reportedly been destroyed and nearly 1,500 damaged, affecting more than 7,000 Rohingya refugees. Refugee volunteers are working to support and protect community. And a senior personnel announcement for you. Today, the Secretary General is appointing Sanda Ojambo of Kenya as the new executive director of the UN Global Compact. As the second woman to be appointed in this role, she will succeed Lise Kingo of Denmark. The Secretary General is deeply grateful to Ms. Kingo for her dedication and strategic leadership in steering the work of the Global Compact and broadening its contributions to the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals. Ms. Ojambo, who assumes the role on 17 June, brings to the job 20 years of experience. She will lead the Global Compact in its next phase to mobilize a global movement of sustainable companies and stakeholders and bring the full weight of the private sector to achieve the SDGs. And just in response to questions I've received on the situation with the UN mission in Mali, and this follows an article that appeared in Foreign Policy yesterday, I can tell you that we do not entertain speculations about senior positions. Suffice to say that the Secretary General's Special Representative in Mali, Mr. Anadif, has the full support of the Secretary General. And after I'm done here and after Reem's briefing, a reminder that the Deputy Secretary General, Mina Mohammed, will be available to brief you on the high-level event on financing for development in the era of COVID-19 and beyond, and that is scheduled to take place on 28th of May, next Thursday. The event is being convened jointly by the Secretary General, along with the Prime Ministers of Canada and Jamaica, and will aim to set a definite pathway to concrete, effective solutions on critical sustainable development finance issues that threaten adversely to impact billions of people over the next 2 months. So please stay on the line for that briefing. Though, as a reminder, the briefing will be embargoed until 9 a.m. on Tuesday, 26th of May. So if you want to listen and watch the briefing, you will have to log into the WebEx as it will not be on the webcast UN Web TV platform until the embargo is lifted on Tuesday. And another reminder that this will be an extra long weekend for us. Monday is Memorial Day, and we will be closed. On Tuesday is Eid, and the UN will be closed as well. We will, as always, be available to you via email to answer any questions you may have during that time. But we will be back on Wednesday. So let me go to your questions. I think Abdelhamid had a question. Abdelhamid? All right, James Bays, can you hear me? Oh, Abdelhamid, I can't hear you. You need to turn on your mic. Perfect. I can go ahead. You're good.
Am I?
Go ahead.
Okay. Am I on air now? Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question on Yemen. There is a report by Médecins Sans Frontières that there is a disaster in the making now in the health sector in Yemen, especially in Aden. And we don't know much about Sana'a, the capital. Can you tell us what do you have to share with us about the situation in Yemen?
Sure. I mean, give me 2 seconds because I'm trying to open a document here. I beg your indulgence. James, let's go to you, and then I'll come back and answer your question, Abdelhamid.
Can I ask for reaction from the Secretary General on the new proposed security laws for Hong Kong? What is the view of the UN of these proposals?
Look, at this point, I don't have any comment to make as things are still in draft form and nothing has been enacted. But so at this point, we're not going to comment on debates within a legislature.
Does the UN, though, believe this is a breach of the... Does the UN... Steph, I haven't finished. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Steph, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yep. Does the UN, though, believe this is potentially a breach of the Sino-British Joint Declaration, which I believe is deposited at the UN, and one assumes the UN should have a view on that?
Understood, but I do not have a comment on it at this particular time. But we'll see a bit later. On Yemen, I can tell you that we're obviously very concerned at the rapid spread of the virus across the country. I think, statements like the one we saw from Médecins Sans Frontières yesterday are just another way to illustrate and underscore how serious the situation is and how urgent it is to take action. Specialists have already predicted that the virus would spread faster, more widely, and with with much deadlier consequences in Yemen than other places, given the state of the public health system, the ongoing conflict. As I mentioned, we believe that a lot of the cases are being underreported, and we have reason to believe that this spread is already happening, with community transmissions are ongoing and unmitigated in many places. Our humanitarian colleagues are getting a number of distressing reports from people across the country, both in the north and south of Yemen, coming from all directions. As you know, as we've been underscoring, we have severe shortages of testing supplies and other supplies. And I just wanted to flag, there'll be a pledging conference on the 2nd of June, where we very much hope donors will come prepared to pledge generously. We've also underscored the fact that if money does not come in, and with the current level of funding, you may see some programs to start to close in the next few weeks. I think it's very important that authorities all over Yemen do whatever they can to suppress the virus, and this also includes having a high level of transparency in reporting and working with clear and factual public information on ways to spread information about how COVID can be prevented and treated. We're very much eager to work with the authorities in doing whatever we can to stop the spread of the virus. And we keep talking that we're shocked and outraged in this context, but it's obviously shocking that in this particular environment, we've not yet been able to secure adequate funding for the COVID-19 response or procure enough personnel, health workers. What we're seeing basically in Yemen is a health system collapsing in front of our very eyes. Alan.
Thank you, Stéphane. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Today, the spokeswoman of the Russian Foreign Ministry said that the quartet meeting on the level of special representatives will be held today, on Friday. So I wonder if you have any update on this, or whether this meeting already was held. What's the outcome of this meeting?
No, I don't have an update to share with you at this at this point. But we're in touch with our colleagues on the ground. As soon as I have something, I will let you know. All right. I think Iftikhar had a question, which I will answer. Does CSG have a statement on the crash of the Pakistani International Airlines? We obviously send our condolences to the people and government of Pakistan upon learning of this horrendous accident. I think it also comes on the eve of the Eid holiday. We understand many of the passengers were going home, which adds another level of tragedy. But our thoughts are with the families of the victims, as well as the government and the broader people of Pakistan. Okay, that's it for me. Reem will join you if she hasn't. If she's not already on. Reem, are you on?